Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. Senator Jackie Lambie has fiercely criticised Tasmania's salmon industry on a popular podcast, urging listeners to boycott products. She alleges supermarkets like Coles and Woolworths are on the brink of removing it from shelves. Some argue her remarks have gone too far.
While it's largely remained a Tasmanian issue, Senator Jackie Lambie has taken the salmon debate into deeper waters.
So should we boycott salmon? What do we do? Who do we buy from?
Yeah, don't eat bloody Tasmanian salmon. I'll call it. Don't eat Tasmanian salmon. We want it out.
The polarising politician says she used to be a big salmon supporter, but changed her view when the salmon companies were bought out by multinational corporations.
They're not looking after the salmon. They don't give a It's all multinational owned now. It's really gone to the but it's killing brand Tasmania.
But it's conflicting views from two former JLN party members.
I think Tasmanian salmon has a long road to go in terms of getting its reputation back up there, but I think we need to be backing in our industries.
If you don't want to eat salmon, don't eat salmon. But you need to give the industries an opportunity to improve themselves.
It follows recent controversy surrounding the industry's ethical practice. The state government remains adamant Tasmanian salmon has been given the tick of approval.
The fish sold for human consumption in Tasmania is safe to eat.
The issue continues to divide Tasmanian restaurants. While Hobart's Muir's has confirmed it's removed Tasmanian salmon from its menu, other venues we spoke to today said they'll continue to feature the product. But there are signs customer demand could be sinking.
I was eating salmon, but now I am starting to be a bit doubtful.
I think it's getting to a point where it's just getting out of control and people need to, slow it down,
No, I don't think we should be eating it.
As community groups join calls to have Tasmanian salmon stripped from supermarket shelves.
We're simply asking that the Food Safety Act is followed. It is illegal to sell diseased animals for human consumption.
A spokesperson for Salmon Tasmania slams Jackie Lambie's comments as a cheap shot at her home state, while inviting podcast host Abby Chatfield to visit Tasmania and gain first-hand insight into the industry. Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmania News.
The Liberal Party is promising $127,000 to install CCTV at 2 community clubs in the Meander Valley. The cameras at the Prospect Vale Park and at Deloraine Community Complex are a response to safety concerns from voters.
To many members of our community in Meander Valley, I know that community safety is a huge issue for them, and this is a really practical application of what we will provide to make public spaces safer.
Unfortunately, we've seen a nearly 10% increase in offences against personal safety. So this is a great community initiative.
The money would come from a planned boost to the Safer Communities Fund. Labor has been out visiting a partly finished estate in Campbelltown to spruik its housing credentials and future fund.
We've just heard from Jean, who lives in a property here, about how life-changing it's been for her to have security, a place to call home in a beautiful community. We want that for more Tasmanians.
And we're investing $33 billion around the country to build more homes, to help renters get a better deal and to get more Australians into home ownership.
The party is also committing $1.3 million to complete the Northwest's coastal pathway. A push to have Tasmania's AFL stadium deal renegotiated has been shot down in the upper house, but independents are calling for the Premier to stick to the current planning process, as the Hobart Council's Planning Committee also gears up to have its say.
No stadium, no team. Those 4 words key to Tasmania realising its long-held Aussie rules dream, but some believe it's high time the AFL deal was redone.
It is the most one-sided, arrogant, nasty contract.
We're being imposed with a huge stadium stuck in the wrong place, costing too much money.
A motion calling for the government to do so, dominating debate in the upper house for hours, eventually crushed 10 votes to 4.
I can't support this motion. I don't support this motion.
If Tasmania does not deliver the stadium now, Mr President,
our reputation will be in tatters.
A missed opportunity, according to the motion's architect, but some independents that opposed it urged the Premier against pulling Mac Point from the current planning process.
It would be an utter rejection of all good governance and democracy.
Let the planning process run its course, to let Tasmanians have a say.
Concerns about the project amplified in the new year after a damning report by economist Nicholas Gruen. But it's been revealed the Jackie Lambie network set up a meeting between Gruen and stadium critics before he started his review. Industry Minister Eric Abetz says another candidate would have been requested if the government knew beforehand. Senator Jackie Lambie hitting back, accusing the government for reaching for anything that discredits their approach. The government's handling of the development under more questioning in the lower house.
Since you won't rule out enabling legislation entirely, will you at least rule out bringing it in before the budget?
Timelines are crucially important. I will do what I need to do in terms of giving the public their say, but also ensuring that this House and the Legislative Council votes.
The Hobart City Council's Planning Authority also meeting to discuss whether they too should lobby Jeremy Rockcliffe against special legislation. Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
2 people have narrowly avoided injury after a shot was fired into a Bridgewater home last night. Police today investigating on Finlay Street, but no charges have been laid yet. Residents told 7 Tasmania Nightly News the street is usually safe and quiet. Anybody with security footage is being urged to hand it over to police. A driver doing 94 in a 60 zone is one of 64 people caught speeding in a large-scale road safety blitz across the state's north today. Officers also nabbing 5 unlicensed drivers, 9 unregistered cars and 1 drug driver through covert patrols and high-visibility checkpoints.
Not only on the main roads and all the little arterial roads, we can be on any road in Tasmania doing RBT sites or speed checks or just on our general patrols. So do the right things on the road and keep everyone safe.
There is some positive news to report though. No drink drivers were found from more than 200 breath tests. Concerns have been raised about the impact of Peter Dutton's intentions to scrap the hydrogen production tax incentive on the Bell Bay Power Fuels project. During question time, State Labor leader Dean Winter called on the Premier to oppose dumping the scheme after Able Energy wrote a letter to Dutton about the issue. Jeremy Rockcliffe says the coalition leader supports a number of clean power projects in the state, while Liberal Senator Jonathan Duniam says the party is keen to see the Power Fuels project go ahead. Dozens of Army cadets from around the country are facing their most physically demanding challenge yet. Gathering on the banks of Lake Barrington, they're going above and beyond for a shot at a prestigious award.
Taking what could have been a leisurely paddle through calm waters on a nice day and flipping it on its head. These Army cadets capsizing their kayaks as part of a gruelling adventure training exercise.
The difficulty this year is definitely more difficult than it has been in previous years.
Every year they tell us it's not hard enough, so we try and up the ante every year.
With 79 participants from around the country passing through the rigorous selection process for a chance to take home the coveted Boomerang and Torch Award.
They do have to reach the objectives to get the award.
I think it means a lot to the cadets as one of the highest achievements that they can wear on their uniform, and they wear it with pride.
Split into 3 platoons, the cadets face 72 hours of tough challenges.
This year's scenario is in a search and rescue, so they're looking for a group of lost tourists in the area.
Including an endurance march, abseiling, climbing to the summit of nearby Mount Roland, and a day of kayaking around Lake Barrington.
Young people today are often criticised for not having much resilience.
But the opposite could be said about these cadets.
As long as you can keep telling yourself that you can make it through, I think that's the most important bit.
They love the challenge, they love to feel accomplishment at the end.
While they may work in pairs or groups for many of the activities, the Boomerang and Torch is awarded to individual cadets who push themselves to the limit.
It's also about leadership within a team and making sure that you make it through with your friends at the end of the day.
Finding out their true potential and making friends along the way. Tom Crosby, 7 Tasmania News.
Fresh-faced and ready to serve, the newest batch of Tasmania police officers have just wrapped up their first official day on the beat, and they're certainly hitting the ground running.
A 5 started this morning at 8 a.m, and by 9 o'clock they'd already had one lock-up protecting our streets.
Yeah, it's everything I expected, and then obviously there's always surprises getting thrown at us. Everybody's great here. Everyone's willing to lend a hand whenever you don't know anything.
The first-year constables recently spent time at regional stations before a final 2 weeks at the academy to become fully fledged officers. A childhood stroke survivor is on the final leg of his gruelling 28-day Trike tour of Tassie, travelling 1,100 kilometres across the state. Tommy Quick raising money for sick children impacted by stroke. His family and supporters close by his side.
Local pollies are just some of the people Tommy Quick's met during his travels.
People have been really kind.
After suffering a stroke at just 12 years old, the 31-year-old is now on a month-long journey to raise awareness and money for children going through what he did.
Any kid at 12 is very enthusiastic about sport, and all of a sudden he wakes up after 5 weeks in a coma and he can't speak. Can't swallow.
But it hasn't stopped him. He's now travelling to 3 points of Tasmania, from Marrawar to Gladstone to St Mary's and down to Cockle Creek, where he'll finish up in just 2 days' time.
Tassie has been a lot more hills.
We've enjoyed seeing things at 15 k's an hour too. There's lots to see. This state is very pretty.
His Tassie trip mimics a larger one he did across the mainland. His parents and most fierce supporters by his side.
He's a remarkable young man and we're very proud of him, obviously.
So far he's raised $140,000, $6,000 of that made up of Tassie donations. But his big trip has a big goal.
The ambition was $1 million, but maybe that's something down the track.
Donations can be made on the 4 Points website. Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
A Hobart hotel is a site of a newly established Aboriginal-inspired garden. The space full of native plants and artworks is tucked away at the old wool store, serving as a living welcome to country and recognising the site's importance to Tasmania's Aboriginal community.
I think it's great to share a site's history wherever possible, and it's really important to acknowledge the people that were here, the traditional owners.
The native plants that are in the garden and the artworks have brought the words to life. So it's been a true collaboration.
These artists are now hoping other hotel operators will follow suit. Anyone wanting to view can just follow the Trail of Ants.
Third on the NBL 1 South ladder, the Chargers men's 2 from 2 season start is certainly enough to keep their new coach smiling, but they're going to need to find more gas in the tank to keep the streak going this weekend.
Kilsyth 2-0. They've had some great wins and they're a little bit different, play a little bit of small ball with their size, and Ballarat obviously have some NBL talent with Rosendale, Majuk and obviously Nick Stoddart. So
the Taunts, meanwhile, remain winless but are brimming with confidence after coming within a whisker of victory against Bendigo. The baptism of fire to start the season against some of the tougher clubs is also a source of positivity heading into play 2 lower-ranked teams.
There's lots of promise, there's lots of opportunities, and I think that we match up pretty well against them. We're going to know who we're playing, we're going to make sure that we're prepared for them and just put it all together on the weekend.
I think they've played against some of the best teams now. So any team that we face, it's like, hey, we've executed against some of the best teams, so let's execute against some other teams and show what we're really about.
The Thunder hunt for their second win after a mixed bag of results over the weekend. The writing was on the wall when he appeared on the free agency list, but the Jackies have today officially told Foundation player Fabian Krislovic they won't be needing his services next season. Holding the club record for most games with 129 appearances, he's reportedly already fielding interest from other clubs. Meanwhile, after one season in Tasmania, Ruben Turangi is returning home to New Zealand on a 2-year deal with the Breakers. His last game for them was back in 2016. Glenorchy has a chance to get a streak going in the SFL as they prepare to welcome North Hobart to their home deck. But the Magpies will need to do it without playing coach Josh Arnold, who's been hit with a suspension for rough conduct in their season opener against Brighton.
Full confidence in the coaching team to get the job done and deliver what we need to.
We'll be going out there with the same mindset and method to play our style of footy and really take it up to the Pies this week.
The Glenorchy women are preparing for their first game of the season after a bye last week, while North Hobart are fresh off an 18-point win over the Tigers.
Good evening. Hobart and Launceston 19 degrees today, Devonport 18 and Burnie 17. 20 was the top. That was at Bushy Park, Ouse, Fingal and Friendly Beaches. St Helens Grove and Flinders Island all 19. King Island and Low Head 18 today. Smithton and Lyawini 17 and Strawn 16. And Lyawini the overnight low with a -5. Low level cloud over the west and Bass Strait today. Mostly clear over the east, central and southeast of Tasmania. High cloud is also over the other southeastern states. A frontal band lies well to the south of WA. The storms continue over the far north. Now tomorrow a trough and cold front come charging our way, but we hope that the high building to the west will push most of it south by Friday and leave us alone. Winds northwesterly at 10 to 20 knots over northern waters and to 30 knots over the west and south. Gale warning is on for waters between South East Cape and Low Rocky Point. A strong wind warning from St Helens Point to South East Cape and from Low Rocky Point to Stanley, along with the inland lakes. Forecast for tomorrow, Hobart mostly sunny, 25 degrees. Less than a half a chance of a shower for Cygnet and partly cloudy for New Norfolk, 25 as well. Launceston 23 and partly cloudy, Devonport 20, a high of 21 for Campbelltown. Partly cloudy conditions for Burnie and Smithton, but showers increasing over Strawn, 22 for Strawn and Smithton. St Helens cloud clearing, 23. Same sort of situation for Swansea, partly cloudy for Fingal and 22 the top. On Friday, a few showers over the west and far south, clearing late morning and a possible shower for St Helens, otherwise fine. Fine and partly cloudy on Saturday with light northerly winds, and on Sunday showers extending to most regions during the afternoon and evening, mainly fine for King and Flinders Islands. Sunny and warm in Perth and Adelaide tomorrow, fine as well in Melbourne, partly cloudy in Sydney, a top of 26 there, a possible shower for Brisbane and stormy over Darwin. Clear in Hobart, 14 degrees, 12 in Launceston right now and 15 in Devonport. Kim, I've got to tell you, last night I was watching a certain television program and it was very interesting. By the end of it, I worked out that weather presenters aren't the only people that tell fibs.
I hope you're referring to a reality TV show and not the debate, Merv. And that is all your news for now. We'll be back later with updates. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.